Chapter 8 New Alliance. As the House and Senate began their session, the vote was clear before it even began. Being faced with annihilation or declaration of war, almost all the House and Senate voted to declare war on the Valkyries. And following that decision, the President ordered all mothballed fleets be recommissioned and be ready for combat as soon as possible. It wasn't long before Darius came up with the next part of his plan. Darius then said to the squad of Valkyries assigned, "Because I care about the welfare of my kingdom, that I have no interest in romantically in the Crown Princess Titania of the Void Kingdom. Your task is to capture her and bring her to me alive. She is essential for me to gain succession to King Azrael's throne and to end our oppression under King Azrael. You are dismissed." After Prince Darius's instructions, the Valkyries made way towards Titania's new home. And when the Valkyries broke down Natalia's door in the middle of the night, her neighbor Mr. Whitetail woke up in the middle of the night investigating what that loud sound may be. Mr. Whitetail then looked out the front window of his house and saw the Valkyries rummaging through his daughter's house. But knowing she wasn't home and not wanting to alert the burglars, he quietly woke up his wife and loaded his Winchester hunting rifle in case the Valkyries tried to break into his own house, as he called the local police. Mr. Whitetail then motioned for his wife and 3 sons to be quiet as he said on the phone, "Hello, is this the police?" The person on the other end of the phone then said, "Yes, what's going on, Mr. Whitetail?" "Someone just broke into Natalia's house, and they're armed. I know she's out of town, but Agron and Sylvia aren't, and they're probably still sleeping in that house." "Keep on the phone, Mr. Whitetail. How many suspects are in the house?" "I see 5. 2 in the living room, 2 in the kitchen, and 1 going up the stairs. I'm sorry, but I need to call my neighbor and wake them up." "All right, sending officers right away." Mr. Whitetail then calls Agron's cell phone as he groggily wakes up, muttering while his girlfriend was still sleeping like a rock. "Who people calling me in the middle of the night?" Agron then answered, "Mr. Whitetail, why are you calling me at this hour?" Mr. Whitetail then answered, "I have no time to explain. Your house just got broken into, and there are men with weapons on the floor below you." "You're going to have to hold that thought, boss." Agron then uses fire dragon magic to partially transform into a dragon and grab his shotgun from behind the nightstand loaded with buckshot. And when he stood behind one of the Valkyries in his partial dragon form rummaging through the house, he said to the Valkyrie, "What are you doing in my house?" The Valkyrie then reached to draw his weapon, but Agron was too fast and strong and snapped his wrist before he could do so. The Valkyrie then screamed in pain, alerting the other Valkyries to Agron's presence. And hearing the other Valkyries with their weapons drawn, Agron said, "You brought friends. How lovely." The Valkyrie then drew their sidearms and took shots at Agron, with all the bullets shattering on Agron's dragon scales. Agron then grabbed one of the Valkyries with his dragon tail and flung him head first into the wall, knocking him out and leaving some property damage and stab marks from the spikes on his tail. Agron then said to the Valkyries, who were getting desperate, seeing none of their weapons work on Agron, "Seriously, you guys break into my house and expect me to just take it? Just who the hell do you think I am?" Agron then gave a few more concussions to the other Valkyries before tying them up with cargo straps in Natalia's garage and waiting for the local police to take them away. The officers then cuffed each of them and brought them back to the police station. And after it was confirmed that the Valkyries were after Princess Titania and what Titania meant to the Valkyries, the military waited at Natalia's house for Titania to return home, before relocating her to a more secure location. And following that decision, Natalia was forced to accompany Titania to Area 51 as her guardian and left Agron, Sylvia, Tatsu, and Patches behind. While in Area 51, Titania stared at her sterile concrete walls with bare-bones furniture and plain clothing. And when she had looked at her belongings, she felt violated as many of her belongings were confiscated, such as the many heartfelt gifts Jeremiah and Edenthiel gave her. She then sat around, bored with nothing to do except watch some trash show on the tiny TV with garbage sound quality. Then Natalia came into Titania's room, accompanied by an officer that said, "I understand your situation must be a lot to take in, but the orientation should be over briefly. Come with me." Titania then got up from her uncomfortable bed with her back and wings aching. "Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Colonel Saunders, and will be responsible for ensuring your well-being while in Area 51 and making sure you are treated fairly in accordance with state and federal laws. And I see your sleeping quarters are not up to par for someone of your stature and wingspan. Agent Nebraska has also informed me that you have not been told as to the reason why you are being detained here. I will answer that question at your orientation, and any further questions you have regarding your stay. Sonny then sat down in a meeting room with Colonel Saunders on the other side of the table. The two men carried Titania's belongings to her room as Colonel Saunders said, "To begin your orientation, I will begin with telling you why you're here. Command believes you are an important asset to the enemy, and I will not let you fall into their hands. Command has transported you here because they believe you're much more secure here than in your own town, and until the enemy has been subdued, you will remain on this base." Colonel Saunders then handed Titania her room key and keycard. This keycard and ID will grant you access to the base's amenities during your stay and will not grant you access to anything you don't have clearance to, such as the firing range and research stations. But you will have access to all the base necessities that you would have in your own town, except being allowed to leave. Do you have any questions? Can I at least write letters to my friends and family while I'm here? You are free to use the post office between 7 a.m. and 17:30 hours, except on Sundays, and you can receive packages as well. However, anything incoming packages that will be thoroughly inspected for contraband, and all contraband items will be properly disposed of. While on video call with George Solaris of Zulshura, President Jackson said, "I understand that we have just ended a war between our two nations, but we're not going to be able to put an end to the glass cannon without us doing it together. And for every second we waste, it is 1 second closer to destroying the both of us. Then why create a weapon you knew you couldn't handle? It wasn't supposed to be. Now are we going to form an alliance and destroy this monster, or are we going to let this planet-glassing superweapon kill us both? And for once you've convinced me that you're actually being sincere, but I need proof that you're not going to betray us and start another endless war. Send me the blueprints for the glass cannon, and we will find a way to destroy it." Did you know this? Gurren Lagann reference. The phrase, "just who the hell do you think I am?" is one of the famous phrases from the classic anime Gurren Lagann.